I still remember the sound of that video playing in the quiet courtroom, the soft hum of the projector, the gentle rustle of papers as everyone leaned in to watch. It was as if time had stopped, and all that existed was the truth that was about to be revealed. I sat alone at my table, my nervous hands folded together, my heart heavy with anticipation. The judge had called the room to order, and Daniel had entered confidently, unaware of the bombshell that was about to drop. As I looked around the courtroom, I noticed the subtle tension in the air, the soft echoes of whispered conversations, the slow movements of the court officials. It was a space where lives were changed, where futures were decided, where the truth was revealed. And today, my truth was about to be laid bare for everyone to see. The judge's voice was firm but gentle as he called the room to order. Daniel walked in, his confident stride a stark contrast to my own nervous energy. He was unaware of the video that Lily had brought, unaware of the secrets that were about to be exposed. I, on the other hand, was acutely aware of the weight of that video, of the power it held to change the course of my life forever. As the judge began to speak, I felt a sense of calm wash over me. It was as if I had finally found my voice, finally found the courage to stand up for myself. The video that Lily had brought was more than just a collection of footage. It was a testament to the truth, a reminder that I was not alone, and that my experiences were valid. The sound of the video playing was like a gentle whisper in my ear, a reminder of the journey that I had been on, of the struggles that I had faced. It was a journey that had been marked by pain, by heartache, and by silence. But it was also a journey that had been marked by resilience, by strength, and by the unwavering support of my daughter. As the video played on, I could feel the tension in the room building. Daniel's confident facade began to crack, his eyes darting back and forth as he realized that he was no longer in control. The judge's expression was one of concern, of empathy, as he watched the video and saw the truth that it revealed. I, on the other hand, felt a sense of liberation wash over me. It was as if I had finally been given permission to speak, to share my story, to reveal the secrets that I had kept hidden for so long. The video was more than just a tool for justice. It was a catalyst for healing, a reminder that I was not alone and that my voice mattered. As the video came to an end, the room fell silent. It was as if everyone was holding their breath, waiting for the verdict, waiting for the truth to be acknowledged. The judge's voice was firm but gentle as he spoke, his words a reminder that justice would be served, that the truth would be recognized. And then it happened. The judge's words were like a balm to my soul, a reminder that I was worthy of love, of respect, and of justice. The verdict was in my favor, and I felt a sense of relief wash over me. It was as if I had finally been given the chance to start anew, to leave the past behind and to forge a new future. As I looked over at Lily, I felt a sense of pride and gratitude. She had stood up for me, she had fought for me, and she had given me the courage to speak my truth. The video that she had brought was more than just a piece of evidence. It was a testament to the power of love, of family, and of the human spirit. As we left the courtroom, hand in hand, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. It was as if I had finally found my way, finally found my voice, and finally found my strength. The journey ahead would not be easy, but I knew that I was not alone. I had Lily by my side, and I had the truth to guide me. The days that followed were marked by a sense of calm, of peace, and of healing. I began to rebuild my life, to rediscover myself, and to find my place in the world. The video that Lily had brought had been a catalyst for change, a reminder that I was worthy of love, of respect, and of justice. As I looked back on that day in the courtroom, I realized that it had been a turning point in my life. It had been a moment of truth, a moment of reckoning, and a moment of liberation. The video that Lily had brought had been more than just a piece of evidence. It had been a reminder that I was not alone, that my voice mattered, and that my story was worth telling. And so, as I sat in my new apartment, surrounded by the quiet comforts of my new life, I felt a sense of gratitude wash over me. I was grateful for Lily, for her love, for her support, and for her courage. I was grateful for the video, for the truth that it had revealed, and for the justice that it had brought. And I was grateful for myself, for my strength, for my resilience, and for my voice. The journey ahead would not be easy, but I knew that I was ready. I was ready to face the challenges that lay ahead, to speak my truth, and to live my life with courage, with dignity, and with pride. The video that Lily had brought had been a reminder that I was worthy of love, of respect, and of justice. And I knew that I would carry that reminder with me for the rest of my life. As I sat in that courtroom, I couldn't help but think about how my life had led me to this moment. Daniel, my ex-husband, was speaking first, painting himself as the responsible, caring husband.
He was subtle, but the blame was clear. I was the one who had drifted away, who was unstable. I felt a familiar tiredness wash over me, a sense of déjà vu. I had heard this narrative before many times, and I was too exhausted to fight it again. Lily, my 17-year-old daughter, sat beside me, her eyes fixed on my trembling shoulders. She knew the truth, and I could sense her quiet anger, her desire to speak out against the lies. But she remained silent, for now, her gaze never leaving mine. I felt a surge of love and gratitude towards her, knowing that she was my rock, my support in all of this. As Daniel continued to speak, I couldn't help but think about the years of emotional neglect, the countless nights I had eaten alone, the times I had tried to talk to him, to fix our marriage, only to be dismissed. The memories flooded my mind, and I felt a lump form in my throat. I glanced at Lily, and she gave me a gentle smile, a reassuring nod. She knew, and she was here for me. The judge looked at Daniel, his expression unreadable, and then turned to me. I felt a sense of anticipation, wondering what would happen next. But before I could respond, Lily stood up, her voice soft but clear. "Your Honor, may I show something that may clarify everything?" she asked, her eyes locked on the judge. I was taken aback, unsure of what was happening. I looked at Lily, and then at the small USB drive in her hand. What did she have? What was she going to show? I felt a sense of curiosity, of trepidation. As the judge nodded, agreeing to let her show the video. The courtroom fell silent, the only sound the soft hum of the projector. Lily walked over to the screen, her hands shaking slightly, but her voice steady. She inserted the USB drive, took a deep breath, and pressed play. The room was bathed in a soft, blue light, and the video began to play. At first, it was just home clips, familiar scenes from our life together. But as the video progressed, the truth became undeniable. Elena, my younger self, was shown wiping away silent tears in the kitchen, trying to hold it together. Daniel was shown ignoring me, dismissing me, and eventually storming out of the house. The nights I had eaten alone, the times I had tried to talk to him, to fix our marriage, were all there, laid bare for everyone to see. Lily's gentle narration overlay the visuals, describing the truth. My mom was never unstable, she said, her voice soft but firm. She was abandoned. The room fell silent, the only sound the soft audio recordings of me trying to talk to Daniel, of him dismissing me. I felt a sense of shame, of embarrassment, but also of relief. Finally, the truth was out. As the video played on, I couldn't help but think about the years of quiet pain, the years of emotional neglect. I felt a sense of sadness, of regret, but also of gratitude. Gratitude towards Lily for showing the truth, for being my voice when I couldn't speak. The video ended, and the room was silent, the only sound the soft rustle of papers, the gentle hum of the projector. Daniel tried to argue, to say that the footage was taken out of context. But his voice cracked. The judge looked at him, his expression stern, and told him to stay quiet, to sit down. Daniel's shoulders slumped, his eyes fixed on the floor. And I felt a sense of calm wash over me. It was as if the truth had finally been revealed. And I was free. The judge turned to me and asked if I wanted to respond. I took a deep breath and spoke gently, without anger, only truth. I described the loneliness, the gaslighting, the years of emotional abandonment. I thanked Lily for showing what I never had the strength to. The judge listened, his expression sympathetic. And I felt a sense of relief, of closure. As the judge spoke, his voice soft but firm, I felt a sense of justice, of vindication. He acknowledged the clear pattern of emotional neglect and made his decisions. Custody and financial decisions leaned in my favor, and Daniel was ordered to attend counseling before visitation. The courtroom atmosphere softened, and I felt a sense of peace, of calm. As we left the courtroom, hand in hand, Lily and I felt a sense of freedom, of release. The air outside felt brighter, warmer. And I whispered to Lily, "Thank you for saving me." She smiled, her eyes shining with tears, and replied, "I just showed them what I've always seen." In the days and weeks that followed, I began to heal, to rebuild my life. I moved into a peaceful apartment, decorated with warm lights, and started to establish soft routines. Tea in the mornings, reading at night, gentle self-care. Lily visited often, bringing comfort and laughter. And I felt grateful for her presence in my life. As I looked back on my journey, I realized that healing was a slow process, a gradual one. It took time, patience, and support. But with Lily by my side, I felt a sense of peace, of closure. I had found my voice, my truth, and I was finally free. And as I shared my story with others, in support groups, softly and gently, I felt a sense of comfort, of solidarity. I was not alone, and I was grateful for that. In the end, I found that settling into peace was not just about finding closure, but about finding myself. I had been lost for so long, trapped in a web of deceit and lies. But now I was free. I was proud of my daughter, and proud of my own strength. And as I looked to the future, I knew that I would always be grateful for the journey, for the lessons learned, and for the love that had sustained me. As I sat in the courtroom, I couldn't help but notice the subtle change in the atmosphere. The air seemed to thicken, and the silence became more pronounced. It was as if everyone was holding their breath, waiting for the next move. And then it happened. Lily stood up, her eyes fixed on the judge, and asked in a soft, respectful tone, "Your Honor, may I show something that may clarify everything?" I was taken aback, confused. I had no idea what she was talking about. I didn't know she had brought anything to the hearing. I looked at her, trying to read her expression, but her face was calm, serene. Daniel, on the other hand, shifted uneasily in his seat. He still believed he controlled the narrative, that he was the one calling the shots. But there was a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes, a hint that he wasn't as confident as he seemed. The judge looked at Lily, then at me, then finally at Daniel. He nodded, his expression neutral. "Very well, please proceed." Lily walked to the front of the courtroom, her movement slow, deliberate. She inserted a small USB drive into the projector, and the room fell silent. The lights dimmed slightly, and the air seemed to vibrate with anticipation. I felt a sense of trepidation, wondering what Lily had brought to show. Was it something that would change everything? Would it reveal a truth that would alter the course of our lives? I glanced at Daniel, who was watching Lily with a mixture of curiosity and wariness. He still thought he was in control, but I could sense a growing unease beneath his surface. As Lily prepared to play the video, the courtroom became even more still. It was as if time itself had slowed down, and all that existed was this moment, this revelation. I felt my heart pounding in my chest, my palms growing sweaty. What was Lily going to show us? What secrets was she going to reveal? The silence was oppressive, heavy with anticipation. I could feel the weight of it bearing down on me, crushing me. And then, just as suddenly, it was broken. Lily's voice, soft and gentle, filled the room. Your Honor, this is a video I've made, a collection of moments of memories. It's the truth, the real story of what happened in our family. As she spoke, the projector sprang to life, casting a warm glow over the courtroom. The video began to play, and I felt my world spinning out of control. The images on the screen were familiar, yet strange. They were moments from our lives, from our past. But they were also something more. They were a revelation, a truth that had been hidden, suppressed. I watched, transfixed. As the video played on, I saw myself, saw Daniel, saw Lily. I saw the pain, the suffering, the struggle. And I saw the truth, the real story of our family. It was a story of love, of loss, of heartbreak. It was a story of secrets, of lies, of deception. As the video continued to play, I felt a sense of emotions rising up inside me. I felt anger, sadness, grief. I felt a sense of betrayal, of hurt. But I also felt something else, something more profound. I felt a sense of liberation, of freedom. I felt a sense of truth, of justice. The video was a courageous move, a bold statement. It was a declaration of truth, a revelation of secrets. It was a testament to Lily's strength, her bravery. And it was a reminder that the truth, no matter how painful, is always the best option. As the video came to an end, the courtroom fell silent once again. The silence was palpable, heavy with emotion. I felt a sense of stillness, of calm. It was as if the truth had finally been revealed. And nothing would ever be the same again. In that moment, I knew that everything had changed. The course of our lives had been altered forever. And I knew that I would never be the same again, that I would never see the world in the same way. The video had been a courageous move, a bold statement. It had been a declaration of truth, a revelation of secrets. And it had been a testament to Lily's strength, her bravery. As I looked at Lily, I felt a sense of pride, of admiration. She had done something incredible, something brave. She had stood up for herself, for me, for our family. And she had revealed the truth, no matter how painful. The courtroom was still, the silence oppressive. But I knew that it was a silence of anticipation, of expectation. It was a silence that was waiting for something to happen, for something to change. And I knew that it would, that it had to. The judge's voice broke the silence, his words calm, measured. "Thank you, Lily." That was enlightening. He paused, his eyes scanning the room. "I think we need to take a break, to consider what we've just seen." As the courtroom erupted into a flurry of activity, I felt a sense of relief, of release. The truth had been revealed. And nothing would ever be the same again. I looked at Lily, and I knew that she had done something incredible, something brave. She had stood up for herself, for me, for our family. And she had revealed the truth, no matter how painful. In that moment, I knew that everything had changed. The course of our lives had been altered forever. And I knew that I would never be the same again, that I would never see the world in the same way. The video had been a courageous move, a bold statement. It had been a declaration of truth, a revelation of secrets. And it had been a testament to Lily's strength, her bravery. As we left the courtroom, I felt a sense of hope, of renewal. The truth had been revealed. And nothing would ever be the same again. I knew that the road ahead would be difficult, that there would be challenges, obstacles. But I also knew that I was not alone, that I had Lily by my side. And as we walked out of the courtroom, hand in hand, I felt a sense of peace, of calm. It was a sense of peace that I had not felt in a long time, a sense of calm that I had not known in years. The truth had been revealed. And nothing would ever be the same again. But I was ready, I was prepared. I was ready to face whatever came next, to face the future with courage, with strength. The video had been a courageous move, a bold statement. It had been a declaration of truth, a revelation of secrets. And it had been a testament to Lily's strength, her bravery. As I looked at her, I knew that I would always be grateful for what she had done, for what she had revealed. I would always be grateful for the truth, for the courage it had taken to reveal it. And as we walked away from the courtroom, I knew that I would never forget this moment, this feeling. I would never forget the sense of peace, of calm, that I had felt. I would never forget the sense of hope, of renewal, that I had felt. The truth had been revealed, and nothing would ever be the same again. But I was ready, I was prepared. I was ready to face whatever came next, to face the future with courage, with strength. As I sat in the courtroom, I couldn't help but notice the subtle change in the atmosphere. The air seemed to thicken, and the silence became more pronounced. It was as if everyone was holding their breath, waiting for the next move. And then it happened. Lily stood up, her eyes locked on the judge, and asked if she could show something that might clarify everything. I was taken aback, unsure of what she had planned. But the judge agreed. But Lily began to make her way to the projector. The courtroom lights dimmed slightly as she walked, her hands shaking only a little, but her voice steady. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, anticipation building as I wondered what she was about to reveal. She inserted the USB drive, took a deep breath, and pressed play. The room fell silent, the only sound the soft hum of the projector as it sprang to life. At first, the screen behind Lily was blank. But then a home video began to play. It was a clip of me, standing in our kitchen, wiping away silent tears. I remembered that day, the feeling of loneliness and isolation that had become all too familiar in my marriage. Daniel was nowhere to be seen, and I was left to deal with the emotional fallout on my own. As the video continued to play, more clips appeared, each one revealing a piece of our troubled marriage. There were nights where I ate alone, Daniel storming out of the house, leaving me to wonder what I had done wrong. There were days where I tried to talk to him, to reach out and reconnect. But he dismissed me, his voice cold and detached. Lily's gentle narration overlaid the visuals, her voice a stark contrast to the pain and sadness that played out on the screen. My mom was never unstable, she said, her words a direct challenge to Daniel's earlier claims. She was abandoned, left to deal with the emotional fallout of a marriage that was slowly falling apart. The room was silent, the only sound the soft sobbing that had begun to escape my lips. I felt a sense of vulnerability, of exposure, as our private struggles were laid bare for all to see. But as I looked around the courtroom, I saw something that gave me hope. Daniel's confidence was cracking, his eyes darting back and forth as he realized that his carefully constructed narrative was beginning to unravel. The video continued to play, revealing more scenes from our marriage. There were audio recordings of me trying to talk to Daniel, to reach out and reconnect. But he dismissed me, his voice cold and detached. There were scenes of me trying to fix the marriage, to make it work. But Daniel's indifference and neglect had taken its toll. As the video drew to a close, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. It was as if a weight had been lifted, a burden that I had carried for so long finally beginning to shift. I looked over at Lily, my eyes meeting hers, and I saw a sense of determination and courage that I had never seen before. She had done this for me, for us, and I was grateful. The room was silent, the only sound the soft hum of the projector as it came to a stop. The judge looked at Daniel, his expression stern, and asked him to respond to the allegations. But Daniel's voice was shaking, his words barely above a whisper. He tried to argue that the footage was taken out of context, but it was too late. The damage was done, and the truth was finally beginning to emerge. As I sat there, listening to Daniel's weak denials, I felt a sense of calm wash over me. It was as if I had finally found my voice, my truth, and I was no longer afraid to speak it. The judge asked me if I wanted to respond, and I took a deep breath, my words spilling out in a gentle, steady stream. "I want to thank my daughter for showing the truth," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "I want to thank her for being brave enough to stand up for me, for us. I was trapped in a marriage that was slowly killing me, and I didn't know how to escape." But Lily saw it, she saw the truth. And she had the courage to reveal it. The courtroom was silent, the only sound the soft rustling of papers as the judge nodded, his expression somber. "I think we've heard enough," he said, his voice firm but gentle. "It's clear that there has been a pattern of emotional neglect and manipulation in this marriage. I'm going to have to make some difficult decisions. But I think it's clear what needs to be done." As the judge spoke, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. It was as if I had finally been heard, finally been seen. The courtroom was silent, the only sound the soft hum of the air conditioning as the judge's words hung in the air. And then, in a voice that was barely above a whisper, he spoke the words that would change my life forever. "I'm granting you full custody of your daughter," he said, his eyes locked on mine. "And I'm ordering your ex-husband to attend counseling before he's allowed to have any visitation rights. It's clear that he has a lot of work to do before he's ready to be a father again." As the judge's words sank in, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. It was as if I had finally found my way out of the darkness, finally found my voice. I looked over at Lily and saw tears streaming down her face. And she was smiling, a sense of relief and joy that I had never seen before. And as we left the courtroom, hand in hand, I knew that we were finally free. We were finally free to start our new life, to heal and to move on from the pain of our past. The sun was shining, the air was warm, and I felt a sense of hope that I had never felt before. As we walked out of the courtroom, I turned to Lily and whispered, "Thank you for saving me." And she looked up at me, her eyes shining with tears, and said, "I just showed them what I've always seen, Mom. You deserve to be happy. And I'm glad that we can finally start our new life together." I smiled, feeling a sense of gratitude and love for my daughter that I had never felt before. We were finally free, finally able to start our new life. And I knew that we would face whatever challenges came our way together. And a team. And as we walked out into the bright sunlight, I felt a sense of peace and hope that I had never felt before. We were finally home, finally free, and finally at peace. As I sat in the courtroom, I couldn't help but feel a sense of trepidation as Lily's video began to play. The screen behind her came to life, and the room was filled with the soft glow of home clips that I had never seen before. The footage was like a window into our past, a past that I thought was hidden, but was now being revealed to everyone in that room. The first clip showed me standing in the kitchen, wiping away silent tears as I tried to cook dinner. The camera panned out, and you could see Daniel sitting on the couch, ignoring me, his eyes fixed on his phone. It was a moment that I had lived many times, a moment that had become all too familiar in our marriage. But seeing it on screen, seeing the pain and the loneliness that I had tried to hide, it was like reliving it all over again. Lily's gentle narration overlaid the visuals, her voice a soft whisper that seemed to carry the weight of the truth. "My mom was never unstable," she said. "She was abandoned." The words hung in the air, and I could feel the room grow still. Daniel's confidence, his mask of control, began to crack. And for the first time, I saw a glimmer of uncertainty in his eyes. The video continued, showing nights where I ate alone, the table set for one, while Daniel stormed out of the house. The sound of the door slamming shut, the silence that followed, it was all so familiar, yet so painful to relive. But Lily's narration, her gentle voice, it was like a balm to my soul, a reminder that I was not alone, that someone had seen the truth, and was now sharing it with the world. As the footage played on, I could feel the emotional neglect, the weight of Daniel's abandonment, becoming undeniable. The room was silent, the only sound the soft hum of the projector, and the quiet sobbing that had begun to escape my lips. I was shocked that Lily had seen so much, shocked that she had captured it all on camera, and shocked that she was now sharing it with the world. But as I looked at Lily, I saw a sense of determination, a sense of purpose that I had never seen before. She was not just sharing our story, she was sharing a message of hope and of healing. And as I looked around the room, I saw that the others were listening, they were watching, and they were beginning to understand. The video continued, showing scenes of me trying to fix the marriage, of me trying to reach out to Daniel, to talk to him, to connect with him. But each time, he dismissed me, ignored me. Or worse, belittled me. The footage was like a timeline of our relationship, a timeline of the pain, the loneliness, and the heartache that I had endured. And then, there were the soft audio recordings of me asking Daniel to talk, to listen, to be present. But his responses, his dismissive tone, his lack of interest, it was all so clear, so painful to hear. I had tried so hard to make it work, to make him see, to make him hear. But it was all in vain. And now it was all being laid bare for everyone to see. As the video came to an end, I felt a sense of relief, a sense of release. It was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, a weight that I had carried for so long. The room was silent, the only sound the quiet sobbing that still escaped my lips. But as I looked at Lily, I saw a sense of pride, a sense of purpose. And I knew that she had done it, she had shown the truth. And she had set me free. The judge's voice broke the silence, his words a gentle whisper that seemed to carry the weight of the moment. "It's clear," he said, "that there has been a pattern of emotional neglect, a pattern of abandonment." The words hung in the air. And I could feel the room shift, the atmosphere change. Daniel's confidence was gone. His mask of control had slipped. And for the first time, I saw a glimmer of uncertainty in his eyes. As the judge continued to speak, I felt a sense of calm wash over me, a sense of peace that I had not felt in years. It was like the storm had passed, and the sun was finally shining through. The room was still, the only sound the quiet rustling of papers, the soft murmur of voices. But I was not alone, I had Lily. And I had the truth. And together, we would face whatever came next. The video had shown the footage that no one expected, footage that revealed the truth, footage that broke the silence. And as I sat in that courtroom, surrounded by the people who had witnessed our story, I knew that I was not alone. I was not alone in my pain. And I was not alone in my healing. The journey ahead would be long, it would be hard. But with Lily by my side, I knew that I could face it, I could overcome it. But I could find my way to a new, quiet beginning. As I watched the video, I felt like I was reliving all the painful moments of my marriage. The scenes showed me trying to fix things, to make it work, to bring us back to a place of love and connection. But every attempt I made was met with dismissal, with rejection, with silence. I heard my own voice, soft and calm, asking Daniel to talk to me, to listen to me, to hear me. But his responses were always the same, a curt, "Not now," a dismissive wave of the hand, a cold shoulder. I remembered the nights I spent crying myself to sleep, the days I spent walking on eggshells, never knowing when Daniel's mood would shift. I remembered the countless times I tried to initiate conversations, to bring us closer together. But he just wasn't interested. The footage showed it all, every painful moment, every heartbreaking rejection. And Lily's narration, her gentle voice, just made it all the more real. As I watched, I felt a sense of shock, of disbelief. I had no idea Lily had seen so much, that she had been paying attention to all the little things, all the moments that seemed insignificant at the time, but added up to a lifetime of pain. I felt a weight crushing me, a weight of guilt, of regret, of sorrow. How had I not seen it? How had I not known that my daughter was witnessing all of this, that she was living through it with me? Lily's voice, soft and steady, explained how she had collected these moments, how she had wanted to preserve the truth, to make sure that my story wasn't lost, wasn't forgotten. She talked about how she had felt, how she had seen me struggling, seen me trying, seen me failing. And she had wanted to do something, to say something, to make it stop. But she was just a child, a teenager. What could she do? As the video played on, I felt tears streaming down my face. I felt a sense of sadness, of loss, of grief. I was grieving the marriage I thought we had, the marriage I wanted, the marriage I deserved. I was grieving the years we had wasted, the years we had spent in pain, in silence, in suffering. But most of all, I was grieving the fact that my daughter had seen it all, that she had lived through it with me. The courtroom was silent, the only sound the soft hum of the projector, the quiet sobbing of the people in the room. Daniel's face was pale, his eyes cast down, his shoulders slumped in defeat. The judge's face was somber, his eyes filled with a deep understanding, a deep compassion. And Lily, my dear Lily, she was sitting beside me, her hand in mine, her eyes filled with tears, with love, with support. As the video ended, I felt a sense of relief, of release. It was over, it was finally over. The truth was out, the truth was seen, the truth was heard. And I knew that I would never be the same again, that I would never go back to the way things were. I would move forward, I would heal, I would find peace. And I would do it all with my daughter by my side, with her love, with her support, with her truth. The judge's voice broke the silence, his words gentle, his tone compassionate. He talked about the evidence, about the pattern of behavior, about the emotional neglect. He talked about the impact it had on me, on Lily, on our family. And he made his decision, a decision that would change our lives forever. As I looked at Daniel, I felt a sense of sadness, of pity. He had lost everything. He had lost me, he had lost Lily, he had lost our family. And he had lost himself, his own sense of self, his own sense of worth. He was a shadow of the man I once loved, the man I once thought I knew. And as I looked at Lily, I felt a sense of pride, of love, of gratitude. She had done it, she had shown the truth, she had told my story. She had given me a voice, she had given me a chance to be heard. And she had given me the strength, the courage to move forward, to heal, to find peace. The courtroom was still, the only sound the quiet shuffling of papers, the soft murmur of voices. The judge's decision had been made, the verdict had been given. And as I stood up, as I walked out of the courtroom, I felt a sense of freedom, of release. I was finally free to be me, to live my life, to find my happiness. And I knew that I would never be alone, that I would always have my daughter by my side, to support me, to love me, to guide me. As I sat in the courtroom, watching Daniel's confidence crumble, I couldn't help but feel a sense of validation. The video had finally given me a voice, and it was loud and clear. Daniel, on the other hand, was struggling to maintain his composure. He tried to argue that the footage was taken out of context, but his voice cracked, and his words lacked conviction. The judge, sensing Daniel's distress, asked him to stay quiet and sit down. Daniel's shoulders slumped, and his eyes remained fixed on the floor, unable to meet the gaze of the judge or anyone else in the room. It was a subtle yet powerful moment, one that spoke volumes about the shift in power dynamics. For the first time, Daniel was being held accountable for his actions, and it was clear that he wasn't prepared to face the consequences. As I watched Daniel's facade crumble, I felt a strange calm washing over me. It was as if the weight of the world had been lifted off my shoulders, and I could finally breathe again. I looked over at Lily, who was sitting beside me, her eyes fixed on the judge. She was calm and composed, but I could sense a deep-seated satisfaction in her. She had done it. She had finally given me the voice I needed to be heard. The judge's words cut through the silence, Mr. Daniel, it's clear that the footage presented today has raised some serious concerns about your behavior during the marriage. I'd like to hear from your wife, Elena. Before we proceed, I felt a surge of emotions as the judge turned to me, inviting me to speak. I took a deep breath, trying to gather my thoughts and compose myself. As I began to speak, my voice was barely above a whisper. I talked about the loneliness, the gaslighting, and the years of emotional abandonment. I spoke about the pain and the suffering, the sleepless nights and the endless tears. But most importantly, I spoke about the truth that had been hidden for so long, the truth that had been denied and dismissed. I thanked Lily for showing the court what I had never had the strength to show myself. The courtroom was silent, the only sound the soft hum of the air conditioning. Everyone was mesmerized by my words, hanging on to every syllable. Daniel, on the other hand, looked like he had been punched in the gut. His face was pale, his eyes sunken, and his body language screamed defeat. It was a moment of reckoning, a moment when the truth finally caught up with him. As I finished speaking, the judge nodded thoughtfully, his expression a mix of empathy and concern. He looked at Daniel, then at me, then finally at Lily. "It's clear that this marriage has been plagued by emotional neglect and abuse," he said, his voice firm but gentle. "I'm going to have to take all of this into consideration when making my decision." The courtroom erupted into a flurry of activity, with lawyers whispering to each other and the judge conferring with his clerk. I sat back in my chair, feeling a sense of relief wash over me. It was almost over. The waiting, the uncertainty, the pain. I looked over at Lily, who was smiling softly at me. She had done it. She had given me the voice I needed to be heard. As the judge continued to deliberate, I couldn't help but think about the journey that had brought me to this moment. The years of suffering, the tears, the sleepless nights, it had all been worth it. I had finally found my voice. And I had finally found the courage to use it. I looked at Daniel, who was sitting across from me, his eyes fixed on the floor. He had lost. He had lost the battle to control the narrative, to control me. The judge's voice cut through my thoughts. "I'm going to take a short recess before making my decision. Please, everyone, take a few minutes to collect your thoughts." The courtroom erupted into chaos, with people whispering to each other and lawyers conferring with their clients. I sat back in my chair, feeling a sense of calm wash over me. I knew that I had done everything I could. I had told my story. And I had spoken my truth. As I waited for the judge to return, I couldn't help but think about what the future held. Would I finally be able to move on from the pain of my past? Would I finally be able to find happiness and peace? The uncertainty was daunting, but I was ready to face it head-on. I looked over at Lily, who was smiling softly at me. She had given me the strength to keep going, to keep fighting. And for that, I would be eternally grateful. The judge's return to the courtroom was like a wake-up call, snapping me back to reality. I took a deep breath, preparing myself for what was to come. The judge's words were like a balm to my soul, soothing and calming. He spoke about the importance of truth and the need for accountability. He spoke about the impact of emotional neglect and abuse on relationships and individuals. And he spoke about the need for justice and fairness. As the judge finished speaking, I felt a sense of resolution wash over me. It was finally over. The waiting, the uncertainty, the pain. I had finally found my voice. And I had finally found the courage to use it. I looked over at Lily, who was smiling softly at me. She had done it. She had given me the voice I needed to be heard. And as we walked out of the courtroom together, hand in hand, I knew that I would never be silenced again. As I sat in the courtroom, the weight of the moment settled in. The judge's eyes met mine. And he asked, "Elena, would you like to respond to the video your daughter has presented?" I took a deep breath, feeling a sense of calm wash over me. I looked at Lily, and our eyes met for a brief moment. I could see the concern and love in her gaze, and it gave me the strength to speak. I began to speak gently, without anger or malice. I just wanted to tell the truth, to let everyone in the courtroom know what I had been through. For years, I felt like I was living in a state of emotional limbo, I said. Daniel's behavior made me feel like I was walking on eggshells, never knowing when he would lash out or ignore me. The loneliness was suffocating, and the gaslighting made me doubt my own sanity. I paused, taking a moment to collect my thoughts. The courtroom was silent, with all eyes on me. I could feel Daniel's gaze, but I didn't look at him. I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of seeing me angry or upset. I tried to hold on to the love we once shared, but it was like grasping at smoke. The more I tried to fix things, the more he pulled away. I felt like I was losing myself, like I was disappearing into the void of our broken marriage. My voice cracked slightly as I spoke, but I didn't let the emotions overwhelm me. I took a deep breath and continued. Lily, my daughter, she saw it all. She saw the tears I cried, the nights I spent alone, the countless times I tried to reach out to Daniel, only to be met with indifference. And yet, she never gave up on me. She never lost faith in me, even when I had lost faith in myself. I looked at Lily, and our eyes met again. This time, I saw tears welling up in her eyes. And it broke my heart. I wanted to reach out to her, to hold her and comfort her. But I knew I had to keep speaking. Lily, thank you for showing the world what I never had the strength to show. Thank you for being my voice when I couldn't find my own. You have given me the courage to speak out, to tell my story, and to take back control of my life. The courtroom was silent, with all eyes on me. I could feel the weight of the moment, the gravity of my words. The judge nodded, his expression somber. And the lawyers looked at each other, their faces filled with a mix of emotions. Daniel, on the other hand, looked like he had been punched in the gut. He was slumped in his chair, his eyes fixed on the floor, and his face pale. As I finished speaking, the courtroom atmosphere began to shift. The tension was still palpable, but it was no longer just about the conflict between Daniel and me. It was about the truth, about the reality of our situation, and about the impact it had on our daughter. The judge looked at Daniel, and then at me, and I could see the wheels turning in his mind. He was weighing the evidence, considering the testimony, and thinking about the consequences of his decision. I didn't know what the outcome would be, but I knew that I had spoken my truth. I had told my story, and I had given voice to the emotions and experiences that had been bottled up inside me for so long. As I sat back in my chair, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. I had taken the first step towards healing, towards recovery, and towards reclaiming my life. And as I looked at Lily, I knew that I was not alone. I had my daughter, my rock, my confidant, and my friend. The judge cleared his throat, and the courtroom fell silent once again. "We will take a short recess," he said, "and then we will reconvene to discuss the custody and financial arrangements." I nodded, feeling a sense of trepidation. I knew that the next part of the process would be difficult, but I was ready. I was ready to face whatever came next, knowing that I had spoken my truth, and that I had Lily by my side. As the courtroom erupted into a flurry of activity, I took a deep breath and let my eyes wander. I looked at the lawyers, the judge, and the court reporters, all of whom were busy preparing for the next stage of the proceedings. I looked at Daniel, who was still slumped in his chair, his eyes fixed on the floor. And I looked at Lily, who was watching me with a mixture of concern and pride. In that moment, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. I knew that I had done the right thing, that I had spoken my truth, and that I had taken the first step towards healing. And as I sat there, surrounded by the chaos of the courtroom, I felt a sense of hope. I knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, but I was ready. I was ready to face whatever came next, knowing that I had Lily by my side, and that I had finally found my voice. As I sat in the courtroom, I couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. The judge's eyes scanned the room, his expression a mix of seriousness and compassion. He cleared his throat, and the room fell silent once more. After careful consideration of the evidence presented, he began, "It is clear that a pattern of emotional neglect has been established." His words were like a gentle breeze on a summer day, soft, but carrying immense weight. I felt a sense of validation wash over me as the judge's words confirmed what I had known all along. Daniel, on the other hand, looked like he had been punched in the gut. His confident facade was crumbling, and he couldn't hide the shock and anger that was rising to the surface. The judge continued, "In light of this, I am ruling in favor of Elena regarding custody and financial decisions." I felt a lump form in my throat as I processed the judge's words. It was finally happening. Justice was being served. The judge's next words were like a dagger to Daniel's already bruised ego. "Daniel, you are ordered to attend counseling before visitation is granted." I could see the anger and humiliation in his eyes, but I didn't feel a sense of triumph. Instead, I felt a sense of sadness. How had it come to this? How had our marriage, our love, deteriorated to the point where we were standing in a courtroom, fighting over the welfare of our child? As the judge finished speaking, the courtroom atmosphere began to shift. The tension that had been building for so long began to dissipate, replaced by a sense of calm and resolution. I felt a sense of peace wash over me, like a warm blanket on a cold winter's night. I looked over at Lily, and our eyes met. We shared a moment of triumph, a moment of validation. We had done it. We had fought for the truth. And we had won. The judge's voice brought me back to the present. I want to commend Lily for her bravery in coming forward and sharing her story. It takes a lot of courage to speak out against emotional abuse. And I hope that her actions will inspire others to do the same. I felt a surge of pride and love for my daughter. She had always been my rock, my confidant. And now she had become my hero. As the courtroom began to empty, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. It was finally over. The fighting, the arguing, the lying. I could start to rebuild my life, to rediscover myself, and to find happiness once again. I looked over at Daniel, and I felt a sense of pity for him. He had lost so much, our marriage, our trust, our love. But I knew that I had to move on, to focus on my own healing and growth. The judge's final words still echoed in my mind as I left the courtroom. Remember, emotional abuse is never okay. It's never acceptable to belittle, to manipulate, or to control someone. We all deserve to be loved, respected, and cherished. I felt a sense of gratitude towards the judge, towards Lily, and towards myself. We had fought for justice, and we had won. But more importantly, we had fought for our own healing, our own growth, and our own happiness. As I walked out of the courtroom, I felt a sense of hope that I hadn't felt in years. I knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult. But I was ready. I was ready to face my demons, to confront my fears, and to rediscover myself. I was ready to start anew, to find happiness, and to live a life that was true to who I was. And as I looked over at Lily, I knew that I wasn't alone. I had my daughter, my rock, my confidant, and my hero. Together, we would face whatever came next. And we would emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. The sunlight outside the courtroom was blinding, but it was also welcoming. It was like a warm hug, a reminder that there was a world outside the darkness of our past. I took a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill my lungs. And I smiled. I smiled because I knew that I was free to start anew, free to find happiness, and free to live a life that was mine. And as I walked away from the courtroom, hand in hand with Lily, I knew that I would never look back. I would only look forward, towards a brighter, happier, and more fulfilling future. As I stepped out of the courtroom, the warm sunlight on my skin felt like a gentle hug, wrapping me in a sense of freedom and new beginnings. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the soft chirping of birds, a stark contrast to the sterile, tense atmosphere of the courtroom. Lily's hand was still clasped in mine, a reminder of the courage and strength she had shown in the face of adversity. I looked down at her, my eyes welling up with tears of gratitude, and whispered, "Thank you for saving me." Her response was barely above a whisper, and it carried a depth of emotion that resonated deeply within me. "I just showed them what I've always seen," she said, her voice filled with a quiet conviction. In that moment, I realized that my daughter had been seeing the truth all along, even when I had been too blinded by my own fears and doubts to acknowledge it. She had seen the pain, the neglect, and the emotional abuse that had been masquerading as a marriage. And she had found the strength to expose it, to bring it to light, and to set me free. As we walked out of the courthouse, the world around us seemed to come alive. The sounds, the colors, the smells, everything felt more vibrant, more intense, more alive. It was as if we had been living in a state of suspended animation. And now we were finally awakening to a new reality. I felt a sense of wonder, of excitement, of trepidation, all mixed together in a swirling storm of emotions. What did this new beginning hold for us? What challenges would we face? And how would we overcome them? Lily's hand squeezed mine, as if she sensed my uncertainty. "We'll face it together, Mom," she said, her voice filled with a quiet confidence. We'll build a new life, a better life, one that's filled with love, laughter, as adventure. Her words were like a balm to my soul, soothing my fears and calming my doubts. I knew that I wasn't alone, that I had my daughter by my side, and that together we could overcome anything. As we walked, the city around us began to take on a new shape. The buildings seemed taller, the streets wider, the people more vibrant. Everything felt full of possibility, full of promise. We passed by a small park, and I couldn't resist the urge to sit down on a bench to take in the beauty of the world around us. Lily sat down beside me, and we sat in silence for a moment, watching the world go by. The sounds of the city created a soothing melody. The chatter of pedestrians, the wail of sirens in the distance, the rustling of leaves in the trees. It was a symphony of life, a reminder that we were part of something bigger than ourselves. I felt a sense of peace settle over me, a sense of belonging to this world, to this moment. I looked over at Lily and saw that she was smiling, her eyes shining with a quiet happiness. In that moment, I knew that we were going to be okay. We were going to face the future with courage, with strength, and with a deep and abiding love for each other. We were going to build a new life, one that was filled with laughter, with adventure, and with a deep and profound sense of connection. And as we sat there, basking in the warmth of the sun, I knew that this was just the beginning of our journey, a journey that would take us to places we never thought possible, a journey that would bring us joy, happiness, and a deep and lasting peace. The world around us was changing, evolving, and we were changing with it. We were growing, learning, and adapting to this new reality. And as we sat on that bench, watching the world go by, I knew that we were ready for whatever came next. We were ready to face the challenges, to overcome the obstacles, and to build a new life, a life that was filled with love, laughter, and adventure. And as I looked over at Lily, I knew that I was grateful for this new beginning, for this chance to start anew, and to build a life that was truly our own. As I stepped into my new apartment, I felt a sense of calm wash over me. The warm lights that Lily had helped me pick out seemed to envelop me in a gentle hug, making me feel safe and at peace. It was a feeling I hadn't experienced in a long time, and it was all thanks to my daughter's unwavering support. She had been my rock throughout the entire ordeal, and I was grateful to have her by my side as we began to rebuild our lives. The first few days were a blur of unpacking and settling in. But as the days turned into weeks, we started to fall into a comfortable routine. Mornings were my favorite time of day. As I'd wake up early and make myself a cup of tea, the aroma would fill the air, and I'd sit by the window, watching the sun rise as I sipped my tea. It was a small moment of peace, but it was mine. But it gave me the strength to face whatever the day had in store. Lily would often join me, and we'd sit together in comfortable silence, enjoying each other's company. She'd bring her books or her sketch pad, and I'd work on my own projects, whether it was writing, painting, and simply organizing my thoughts. It was a gentle, soothing way to start the day, and it helped us both to heal and grow. As the days turned into weeks, our apartment began to feel like a true sanctuary. We'd spend our evenings reading, watching movies, or simply talking about our hopes and dreams. Lily was blossoming into a confident, compassionate young woman, and I was so proud of her. She'd always been my rock, but now she was becoming my friend, my confidant, but my partner in healing. One of the things that helped me the most during this time was the self-care routine that Lily had encouraged me to establish. She'd remind me to take long baths, to get massages, and to practice yoga. At first, it felt indulgent, but as I started to make time for these activities, I realized how much they helped me to relax and unwind. I'd light candles, play soothing music, and let the stress of the day melt away. Lily would often join me, and we'd have our own little spa nights, complete with face masks, manicures, and pedicures. It was a fun, bonding experience, and it helped us to connect on a deeper level. We'd laugh, we'd chat, and we'd simply enjoy each other's company, free from the stress and anxiety of the past. As the weeks turned into months, I started to notice a significant change within myself. I was sleeping better, eating better, and feeling more confident. I was starting to see myself in a new light, as a strong, capable woman who had survived a difficult marriage and was now thriving. It was a powerful feeling, and it gave me the courage to start pursuing my own interests and passions. I started taking art classes, something I'd always wanted to do but never had the time. I discovered a love for painting, and I found that it helped me to express my emotions in a way that words couldn't. I'd get lost in the creative process, and for hours, I'd forget about my worries and my fears. It was a form of therapy, and it helped me to heal and grow in ways I never thought possible. Lily was my biggest supporter, encouraging me to pursue my dreams and cheering me on every step of the way. She'd come to my art classes, watch me paint, and offer her own critiques and suggestions. It was a beautiful thing to see, and it filled my heart with joy and gratitude. As we continued to heal and grow, our relationship deepened. We became closer, more connected, and more supportive of each other. We'd talk about our feelings, our fears, and our hopes, and we'd work through our issues together. It was a beautiful, gentle process, and it helped us to build a stronger, more resilient bond. One day, as we were sitting on the couch, watching the sunset, Lily turned to me and said, "Mom, I'm so proud of you. You're strong, you're brave, and you're an inspiration to me." I felt a lump form in my throat as I looked at my daughter, and I knew that I had finally found my happy place. I had found a sense of peace, a sense of purpose, and a sense of belonging. And it was all thanks to Lily, my rock, my confidant, and my partner in healing. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over our apartment, I felt a sense of contentment wash over me. I knew that I still had a long way to go, that there would be ups and downs, twists and turns. But I also knew that I was ready, that I was strong enough to face whatever came my way. And I knew that I wouldn't be alone, that Lily would be by my side, supporting me, encouraging me, and loving me every step of the way. In that moment, I felt a sense of healing, a sense of growth, and a sense of peace. It was a feeling that I'd been searching for so long, and it was a feeling that I knew I would carry with me for the rest of my life. As I looked at Lily, I knew that I would always be grateful for her love, her support, and her unwavering dedication to our healing journey. And as we sat there, wrapped in the warmth and comfort of our little apartment, I knew that we would face whatever the future held, together, as a team, as the best of friends. As I sit here, surrounded by the warmth of my new apartment, I find myself reflecting on the past. It's a quiet, gentle reflection, one that's free from the bitterness and anger that once consumed me. I've discovered new hobbies, new passions, and a new sense of self-worth. It's amazing how much healing can occur when you finally find the courage to let go of the pain. Lily visits often, and her presence is always a source of comfort and laughter. We spend hours talking, sharing stories, and creating new memories together. She's my rock, my confidant, and my best friend. I'm so grateful to have her by my side as I navigate this new chapter in my life. As I look back, I realized that I was living in a state of emotional numbness. I had become so accustomed to the pain and the heartache that I didn't know what it was like to feel truly alive. But now, I'm starting to feel the warmth of the sun on my skin, the gentle breeze in my hair, and the softness of a warm blanket on a cold night. It's a beautiful feeling, one that I never thought I'd experience again. I've taken up painting, and I find solace in the creative process. The brush strokes, the colors, the textures, it's all so therapeutic. I lose myself in the art, and for a few hours, I forget about the pain of the past. I've also started reading again, devouring books on self-help, personal growth, and spirituality. It's amazing how much wisdom and knowledge is out there, waiting to be discovered. Lily and I have started a small garden together, and it's become a symbol of our journey towards healing. We plant seeds, nurture them, and watch them grow. It's a reminder that growth is possible, that beauty can emerge from the darkest of places. We spend hours talking, laughing, and sharing stories as we tend to our garden. It's a special bond that we're creating, one that I'll always treasure. As I continue on this journey, I'm starting to realize that I'm not alone. There are so many people out there who have suffered in silence, who have endured the same pain and heartache that I did. It's a comforting thought, knowing that I'm part of a larger community, one that understands and supports me. I've started sharing my story with others, softly and gently, in the hopes that it might help them find the courage to share their own. It's a powerful thing, sharing our stories. And I've seen firsthand the impact it can have on others. It's a reminder that we're not alone, that we're all in this together. As I look to the future, I'm filled with a sense of hope and optimism. I know that there will be challenges ahead, but I'm ready to face them head-on. I've found my voice, my strength, and my resilience. I've learned to love myself, to care for myself, and to prioritize my own needs. It's a beautiful feeling, one that I'll always cherish. And as I sit here, surrounded by the warmth and love of my new life, I'm reminded of the power of healing. It's a journey, not a destination. And it's one that I'll continue to embark on for the rest of my life. But for now, I'm grateful for the peace, the love, and the joy that I found. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm so grateful to have Lily by my side to share it with. As I reflect on my journey, I'm reminded of the importance of self-care, self-love, and self-compassion. It's a journey that requires patience, kindness, and understanding. It's a journey that requires us to be gentle with ourselves, to nurture our souls, and to prioritize our own well-being. And as I look to the future, I know that I'll continue to prioritize my own healing, my own growth, and my own self-discovery. I've learned that healing is not a linear process, but rather a circular one. It's a journey that requires us to revisit the past, to confront our fears, and to release our pain. It's a journey that requires us to be brave, to be vulnerable, and to be open to new experiences. And as I continue on this journey, I'm reminded of the power of forgiveness, the power of letting go, and the power of moving forward. As I sit here, surrounded by the beauty of my new life, I'm filled with a sense of gratitude and appreciation. I'm grateful for the journey, for the lessons, and for the love that I've found. I'm grateful for Lily, for her support, and for her unwavering love. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my story, to inspire others, and to make a difference in the world. And as I look to the future, I know that I'll continue to grow, to learn, and to evolve. I'll continue to prioritize my own healing, my own growth, and my own self-discovery. And I'll continue to share my story, to inspire others, and to make a difference in the world. It's a beautiful journey, one that I'm grateful to be on, and one that I'll always treasure. As I stepped into the support group, I felt a sense of trepidation wash over me. It was my first time sharing my story with strangers, and I wasn't sure how it would be received. But as I looked around the room, I saw faces that seemed to understand, faces that had worn the same mask of silence and suffering that I had. I took a deep breath and began to speak, my voice barely above a whisper. At first, it was hard to find the words. I had spent so long hiding my truth, even for myself, that it felt foreign to speak it out loud. But as I started to share, I felt a weight lifting off my shoulders. I told them about the years of emotional neglect, about the nights I spent alone, about the tears I cried in secret. I told them about Lily, and how she had been my rock, my confidant, my savior. As I spoke, I saw nodding heads, tears welling up in eyes, and hands reaching out to offer comfort. I realized that I was not alone, that there were others who had suffered in silence, just like me. And in that moment, I felt a sense of connection, a sense of community that I had never felt before. I learned that my story was not unique, but my courage to share it was. I learned that every person in that room had a story to tell, a story of pain and struggle, but also of resilience and hope. And as we shared our stories, We found solace in each other's company. We found comfort in knowing that we were not alone. My voice, once a whisper, became a beacon of hope. I inspired others to speak out, to seek help, to break free from the chains of silence and suffering. And as I listened to their stories, I felt a sense of pride in knowing that I had found my voice, pride in knowing that I was making a difference. I remember one woman, in particular, who shared her story of abuse and neglect. Her voice was shaking, her eyes were brimming with tears. But she spoke with a courage that I had never seen before. And as she finished speaking, the room erupted in applause, not just for her bravery, but for her resilience, for her refusal to be silenced. In that moment, I realized that my story, our stories, were not just about pain and suffering, but about hope and healing. They were about finding our voices, about speaking our truths, about breaking free from the shackles of silence and shame. And as I looked around the room, I knew that I had found my tribe, my community, my family. As the weeks went by, I found myself looking forward to these support group meetings. I found myself feeling a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging. I was no longer just a victim, no longer just a survivor. I was a thriver. I was a woman who had found her voice, who had found her strength, who had found her community. And as I shared my story, I realized that it was not just about me, it was about all of us. It was about the countless women, men, and children who had suffered in silence, who had been silenced by fear, by shame, by guilt. It was about the ones who had found their voices, who had spoken their truths, who had broken free from the chains of oppression. My story, our stories, are a testament to the human spirit, to its resilience, to its capacity for hope and healing. They are a reminder that we are not alone, that we are not isolated, that we are part of a larger community, a community that cares, that listens, that supports. As I finish sharing my story, I feel a sense of peace wash over me. I feel a sense of closure, a sense of completion. I know that I have found my voice, I have found my community, I have found my purpose. And I know that I will continue to share my story, to inspire others to speak out, to break free from the silence and the shame. Because in the end, it is not just about me, it is about all of us. It is about our collective voice, our collective strength, our collective resilience. As I look around my cozy apartment, I'm reminded of the journey that brought me here. It's been a long and winding road, filled with twists and turns that I never could have anticipated. But as I sit in my favorite armchair, surrounded by the warm glow of soft lighting and the comforting hum of silence, I feel a sense of peace that I've never known before. It's as if I've finally found my haven, my sanctuary, my place of refuge from the storms that once raged around me. I think back to the day of the divorce hearing, and how my daughter Lily's courage and determination changed everything. The way she stood up in that courtroom, her small voice trembling with conviction, and revealed the truth about our marriage. It was a moment that will be etched in my memory forever, a moment that marked the beginning of my journey towards healing and freedom. As I reflect on those days, I realized that I was living in a state of constant fear and anxiety. I was walking on eggshells, never knowing when the next explosion would happen, never knowing when Daniel's anger would boil over. But Lily's bravery gave me the strength to stand up for myself, to fight for my rights, and to demand the respect and dignity that I deserved. Now, as I look around my apartment, I see a space that reflects my true self. It's a space that's filled with warmth, comfort, and love. The walls are adorned with paintings and photographs that bring me joy. The furniture is plush and inviting, and the air is filled with the scent of fresh flowers and baking. It's a space that's mine, a space that's free from the toxic influence of my ex-husband, and a space that's filled with the love and support of my daughter. Lily is my rock, my confidant, my best friend. She's the one who saw me at my worst, who saw me broken and battered, and who still managed to love me unconditionally. She's the one who stood by me, who supported me, and who encouraged me to keep going, even when the road ahead seemed impossible. And as I look at her, I feel a sense of pride and gratitude that I've never felt before. I'm proud of the strong, brave, and compassionate young woman she's becoming. And I'm grateful for the gift of her presence in my life. As we navigate this new chapter in our lives, I'm reminded that healing is a journey, not a destination. It's a process that takes time, patience, and effort, and one that's worth it in the end. I'm learning to be kind to myself, to prioritize my own needs, and to take care of my own well-being. I'm learning to let go of the past, to release the guilt and shame that once held me back, and to embrace the present with all its beauty and uncertainty. And as I look to the future, I know that there will be challenges ahead. There will be days when the darkness closes in, and when the memories of the past come flooding back. But I also know that I'm not alone. I have Lily by my side, and I have the support of my newfound community. I have the tools and the resources to navigate the ups and downs of life. And I have the courage to face whatever comes my way. As I sit in my apartment, surrounded by the peace and tranquility that I've created, I feel a sense of closure that I never thought possible. I feel like I've finally found my place in the world, like I've finally found my voice, and like I've finally found my sense of purpose. And as I look at Lily, I know that I've found my greatest treasure, my greatest blessing, and my greatest joy. She's the reason I kept going, the reason I fought for my freedom, and the reason I'm still standing today. In this moment, I'm filled with a sense of gratitude and wonder. I'm grateful for the journey that brought me here. And I'm grateful for the people who've supported me along the way. I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned. And I'm grateful for the strength I've gained. And as I look to the future, I know that I'm ready for whatever comes next. I'm ready to face the challenges, to seize the opportunities, and to live the life that I deserve. A life that's filled with love, laughter, and adventure. A life that's mine, and mine alone. As I sit here, surrounded by the warmth and comfort of my new home, I'm reminded of the journey that brought me to this place. It's been a long and winding road, filled with moments of darkness and uncertainty, but also moments of profound beauty and growth. I think back to the day my daughter, Lily, stood up in that courtroom and showed the world the truth about our lives. It was a moment of courage and resilience that I will never forget. As I look back, I realize that healing is a journey, not a destination. It's a process that takes time, patience, and kindness. It's a journey that requires us to be gentle with ourselves, to acknowledge our pain and our fears, and to slowly begin to rebuild. I've learned that healing is not about erasing the past, but about integrating it into our present, but using it to inform our future. I think about all the women I've met in support groups, women who have suffered in silence, just like I did. Women who have been made to feel small, insignificant, and unimportant. But as I look into their eyes, I see a spark of recognition, a spark of hope. I see women who are beginning to realize that they deserve love, honesty, and peace. They deserve to be treated with kindness and respect, to be heard and seen. As I reflect on my own story, I'm reminded of the power of courage and resilience. I'm reminded that even in the darkest moments, there is always a way forward. That even when we feel like we're alone, we're not. That there are people who care, who will listen, and who will support us on our journey. I want to leave you with a message of hope today. A message that reminds you that you deserve love, honesty, and peace. That you deserve to be treated with kindness and respect, to be heard and seen. That you deserve to live a life that is true to who you are, without fear of judgment or rejection. As you listen to my story, I want you to know that you're not alone. That there are people who understand, who care, and who will support you on your journey. I want you to know that healing is possible, that growth is possible, and that transformation is possible. So, take a deep breath, and let the warmth of these words sink in. Let the knowledge that you deserve love, honesty, and peace settle into your heart. Let the spark of hope that I see in my own eyes, and in the eyes of the women I've met, ignite within you. As you move forward on your own journey, I want you to remember that it's okay to take things slowly. It's okay to be gentle with yourself, to acknowledge your pain and your fears. It's okay to ask for help, to seek support. and to lean on those who care about you. And when the darkness closes in, and it feels like the world is against you, I want you to remember that you are strong, that you are resilient, that you are capable of overcoming even the most daunting challenges. I want you to remember that you deserve love, honesty, and peace, and that you will get through this, one step at a time. So, let's take a deep breath together, and let's move forward into the unknown with hope and courage in our hearts. Let's remember that we deserve love, honesty, and peace, and that we will get there together. And as you drift off into the rest of your day, I want you to carry this message with you, and to remember that you are never alone.